So Maria,
Yes.
we're back in London. Tell us what you've been doing for the last week.
A week ago we left Gatwick. There were a group of 9 of us and we all went to the Blind Theatre Festival in Croatia, in Zagreb. And there we aimed within a week to complete the outcome of a movie that we were setting up around a narrative of a group of blind people who were going to Zagreb to get their sight restored within 24 hours. The intention was to use actors that were going to be at the Blind Theatre Festival, that were coming from different parts of the globe, and also to film the outcome of the film in sort of, I suppose it was in real time. And to make sure that we just got the whole thing completed in a week. Well, the inspiration behind the project came 2 years ago when I was at the festival in Zagreb with a theatre piece that Extant, the theatre company that I work for, had taken out there. And I was wandering around the streets one night in Zagreb and I thought, this would be a great place to create a zombie film. As the idea grew and grew, we had the idea about okay, we need a central character who would be filming all this narrative on her iPhone as if it was a video diary. We wanted it to have that kind of found footage type sort of handheld quality to it. And we wanted it to be able to be viewed on the internet, and we wanted to sort of have it in real time while we were at the festival. So we would be filming, posting bits of the video diary up on a website. I knew there were going to be a lot of visuals that we were going to be incorporating into it, and I was really aware that I wanted somebody like me who's got a very limited sight, who's very interested in film anyway, and has all sorts of issues around accessing all, the kind of range of films that I want to see with audio description. That with this we don't want to add an extra audio description track, but what we wanted to do was to incorporate it into the dialogue of the main character Helen as she's filming. So I was really careful about working that into the script in advance in its draft stages. But also when we were filming, there were things that were coming up that we obviously, as you're filming in this kind of guerrilla way, there's all sorts of ideas you have and you kind of incorporate things. But we then had to sort of go back and change bits of the script to make sure that it would be somehow accessible for somebody who is visually impaired watching the film, either to enhance somebody who's got some partial sight, or to offer something to somebody who's got very, very limited sight, still a sense of what was going on, in terms of some of the special effects that we were creating for the film.
Okay, so Andrea, what was your role in the project?
Yeah, well, on ZombieyeZ in Zagreb, which it really was, I was the art zombie, and my job was to come up with design and some masks and costumes. It would all fit in one suitcase. I did it in 10 days flat before we set off, and then I discovered also that I had a rather bigger part than I thought in the film itself, where I was also playing the nurse, whose kind of job is to help with the access as well. So she kind of comments on certain things that are happening as well.
And are there any special considerations you had to think about, given that you're working with visually impaired performers and you were designing the project?
Well, interesting enough, with the masks, I didn't have time to sort of create masks specifically for each performer. So because the performers themselves couldn't see, I didn't have the same considerations as I would, say, for a sighted performer. So therefore I did make masks whereby the actor could, basically close their eyes and wear a mask that didn't allow them to see through it. But obviously those performers would have been much more experienced in navigating space. So that was maybe one thing that was a bit different if you have visually impaired people to sighted people.
What we want to do is to enable people to contribute their own scenarios, because the plot very much ends on a cliffhanger. So we want to, it's been quite an interactive process so far through our website, or the website that we created for the fictional character Helen. It's allowed people to leave comments about all sorts of quite serious issues around disability and blindness, and whether how far would you go to get your sight back, about medical kind of interventions and the risks that are involved, and what we want in those debates to continue. Also the narrative, the kind of fictional side of it, to continue by people contributing their ideas about where this story might go. And in terms of a legacy for all the people who are involved. Like, because we try to involve as many people as possible at the festival, we want people to feel that they own it, and already there was a sense of that growing at the festival. I think at the beginning people thought, well, what are they doing? Just making this kind of crazy film. But in the end, more and more people were brought in to play different parts. The more that they got quite excited about the idea that they could tell their friends they were actually in a zombie film, and we want that to really, to really kind of spread, and also to reach young people and people that might not ordinarily know about Extant as a theatre company, or about New Life, or the festival, or other companies that were involved in the festival, that we can collaborate, and that we can have something that is quite cool, and current, but also underlines some quite serious social issues as well. And now for a Hitchcock moment. Can you tell which zombie the director is in this next clip? And there is an audio clue.
Oh no! Oh my God! There's masses of them. They're all turning round. They've seen us. God, they look disgusting.